Thank you all for coming out to support our dear friend and community leader, Rahsaan Hall. Today, he has some news to share with us. Yeah. We've got some news, guys. Okay. So my name is Bree Nichols, and I'm a Brockton resident and community leader, and I will be ushering the press conference today. Thank you to LaWanda's from Hall for DA Committee, and thank you so much for putting this together today. For those at home or at work watching, please feel free to have a watch party and share. And now, our state representative, Michelle Dubois, representing the 10th Plymouth District. Michelle Dubois is a native of Brockton who has worked for over 20 years in nonprofit management and administration, and then she's also served as a Brockton City Councilor for 10 years. She was elected the Massachusetts House of Representatives in 2015, and she currently represents the 10th Plymouth District that includes parts of Brockton and East Bridgewater and all of West Bridgewater. Rep. Dubois is committed to building safe and healthy neighborhoods and responding to needs of those families. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with each and every one of you. This is exciting. So I'm honored to be a state representative, and I want to welcome each and every one of you to my district. This is the east side of Brockton, and we are in one of the best restaurants in the city, LaWanda's. I wore red and black today because us Brocktonians know that red and black are our Brockton high colors. We bleed red and black here, and it's never been, and I wore this color on purpose, these colors, because it's never been. I'm a 48-year-old woman, and I'm born and raised here in Brockton, and in that time, we have never had a candidate for a DA with the same acumen, credentials, experience, drive, love, and connection to our city of Brockton that I've ever seen in my life. And so I wholeheartedly endorse, and I'm going to work real hard to get elected Rahsaan Hall. I really hope that all my constituents and all my Brockton residents and everyone in Plymouth County sees this progressive, super educated and experienced person that's put his name forward, and you too will come out and support him in this important campaign. If we had Rahsaan Hall in that office, he would be able to identify a crime victim over a criminal and really support that crime victim and prosecute criminals. I got to know him a little bit more being a state representative up at the State House. So I'm a progressive person, and I care about justice. Environmental justice is my #1 priority, but I care about all forms of justice. My people are depending on that, and for us to have strong leadership in those areas. And if we were to elect Rahsaan Hall to be our district attorney, we would have someone who has proven that not only can they do the work of an ADA and prosecute criminals and make sure that those that do wrong get the jail sentences that they deserve, we're going to have someone that understands what it is to really offer justice to a community. And that means being supportive of the community that we live in. His restorative justice and his principles and priorities are really what we need in our community. Thank you so much. And I just want to close out by saying that this campaign of everything that's going to be on the ballot, the governor's campaign is going to be really important, and often we just look beyond the DA's race because we've always had the same candidate. But we deserve a change. We deserve accountability. We deserve someone that's going to be a district attorney and support his staff when they do right and reprimand his staff when they do wrong. And right now we do not have that in Plymouth County. We need someone that's going to bring fairness to the district attorney's office, and I'm proud to work with you on accomplishing that and electing Rahsaan Hall our next district attorney. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rep. Dubois. Can we get another round of applause? Thank you. So next up, I am honored to announce the Honorable Geraldine Hines. Geraldine S. Hines grew up in the Mississippi Delta, and after graduation from the University of Wisconsin, which is law school, y'all, she became a staff attorney at the Massachusetts Law Reform Institute. She then worked with the Roxbury Defenders Committee, practiced at the Harvard University Center for Law and Education, and served as a founding member and partner in the first law firm of women of color in the New England area. She litigated a wide range of cases, including numerous civil rights matters, including employment, unemployment, discrimination, and police misconduct claims. She was appointed to the Superior Court in 2001, and Justice Hines was then appointed to the Appeals Court in 2013, and the Supreme Judicial Court in 2014. She retired in 2017 after 16 years on the bench and has since continued to dedicate herself to social justice causes that she cares about, like Rahsaan Hall.
Thank you so much. When I first met Rahsaan Hall as a skinny teenager, if you can believe that, back in the 1980s, I could never have imagined that I would be part of a throng such as this, a racially and ethnically diverse gathering of people joined together by faith and hope in the prospect of progressive and transformative change as Rahsaan launches his bid for DA of Plymouth County. All I could see then was a polite and respectful young kid who dutifully, probably not happily though, followed the instructions of his dad, who insisted that he come to my office to see a community law office in action. I hope he was inspired by that. Yet here we are, more than 30 years later, celebrating the kickoff of Rahsaan's bid to serve the people of Plymouth County as its district attorney. How amazing is that? This is indeed a momentous event because nothing like this has ever happened in Plymouth County. Today, for the first time, a Black man, Rahsaan Hall, is answering the call of many in the legal community and beyond who have encouraged and cajoled him to take this leap of faith, because he is the person for this moment in our history, a moment that demands a fresh commitment to progressive and transformative vision of justice in our criminal legal system. And I know he is able to do that with the support of his family. Thank you, Trinette, for agreeing to let us have him for a while. I am so excited and honored to join with all of you and with Rahsaan and his family today for this historic event, marking the first step of his journey to bring progressive and transformative change to the Plymouth DA's office. Over the decades, I have known Rahsaan as a family friend, a student, a colleague at the bar, and a spiritual mentor. It is my fervent hope that beginning right here, right now, the people of Plymouth County will come to appreciate, as I have, the qualities that make him an exceptional candidate for this office. He is a man of deep spiritual and moral conviction, who will bring to this job a necessary willingness to temper justice with mercy. So as DA, I believe he will prioritize restorative justice when it is the right thing to do. He is a visionary leader who will bring new thinking and new ideas to the difficult task of public safety for the people of Plymouth County. After having served as an ADA in Plymouth County, Rahsaan knows very well the brokenness of our criminal legal system, the urgency of the struggle for progressive and transformative change in that brokenness, and the power of the DA's office in reimagining the way we do justice in our courts. And most of all, he knows that winning convictions at any cost is not the measure of justice. True justice is grounded in the values that Rahsaan will bring to this office, his belief in restoration, transformation, and healing. He is a man of integrity, and he is, by all accounts, a gentle spirit, unless and until he is provoked by injustice. We are at that moment in our history when the people have seen our criminal legal system for what it is. The people are demanding progressive and transformative change in a system that drives the mass incarceration of Black and brown people that has robbed our communities of so much of its vigor and potential. Progressive and transformative change is within our grasp with this election. We must seize this moment to usher in a new era that reclaims the spirit of justice. All we have to do is support with all our hearts this incredibly gifted and committed young man who stands ready to bring all of his vigor and energy to the task of making the Plymouth District Attorney's Office the model of fairness and justice that it can and must be. Let's hear it for Rahsaan.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's so good to see you all here this afternoon. Well, first, thank you, Justice Hines, for that kind and warm introduction. I'm gonna call you Justice Hines because everybody don't know you, but I know you want me to call you Jerry, so thank you, Jerry. You have certainly been a mentor, an inspiration, not only to me, but to so many others, particularly in the legal community. Your presence here means so much to me, so thank you. Thank you to Rep. Dubois for your encouraging words about the importance of this race to this county and your appreciation of me and my candidacy. And thank you for your continued progressive representation of the residents of your district. I think it speaks volumes that you are willing to speak up for me and on my behalf and on behalf of the residents of Brockton and the other parts of this county that deserve the type of representation that I seek to bring. Thank you to my sister in the struggle, Bree Nichols, for emceeing today. For all your fight and struggle and passion that you bring to this movement. It is certainly appreciated, and I'm glad that you were willing to participate. To the owners and staff of Luanda's, thank you for opening up this space for us, for this important establishment in our community to represent the fullness and the beauty of the African and Black diaspora in a location that is rooted and centered in the heart of the community that I call home, Brockton, and y'all have really amazing food, so thank you. To the Hall of Justice, my team, you all are amazing. Thank you so much for all your tireless efforts, loss of sleep, financial support, but most importantly, your love and encouragement of me and this campaign and this candidacy and the support of my family in this. And to my family, thank you all for your willingness to take this journey with me. My mother, my son, my daughter and son-in-law who could not be here today but are here supporting us. Thank you all for standing with me, and to my lovely wife, Trinette. This doesn't happen unless she says it can happen. So to the extent that y'all want to celebrate anything, celebrate her. Shout out to my neighbors and good friends who are here, the Alexandries, and it's overwhelming to see you all here in support of this movement. This is something that is truly special. Today is a day that's not lost on me. The historic moment at the beginning of Black History Month, a time where we celebrate the historic accomplishments of Black people in America. I'm reminded of the historic significance of today, that sense that justice can be achieved through the effort and tireless and persistent work of dedicated individuals, and as well through the work of a collective group of people, a community working together. For that is truly what makes this moment so significant. And so here, together with a community of my friends and family on this historic day, I'm here to say that I have a vision of justice, a vision that is rooted in restoration, transformation, and healing. A vision of justice that treats victims and survivors with dignity and respect and recognizes the complexity of their lived experiences and sees them as more than a witness in a case. I have a vision of justice that demands accountability from those who have caused harm, whether they are community members or members of law enforcement. I have a vision that prioritizes racial justice, harm reduction, and community engagement. And see, I've arrived at this vision based on my life's journey, the guidance of my family, the prayers of the faithful, and the experiences of the people that I have worked with throughout my career as an assistant district attorney, as an ordained reverend in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, and as a community activist. I've sat with the families of murder victims to comfort them through the process of an impersonal trial that talks about their loved one as if they're just a mere object. I've sat face to face with some of the men that I've sent to prison for the rest of their lives when I was a prosecutor, and come to understand how the various systems and structures in society have failed them and continue to fail them and fail those who they are serving time with, who at some point will be coming home back to our communities. I've talked with young people who are gang involved and who are college bound. I've worked closely with law enforcement to secure convictions and hold accountable those who have created harm in our communities. And I've also worked with them to secure accountability measures and reform to policing and the criminal legal system. And so I've arrived at this vision through my work to educate Massachusetts residents about the role, power, and influence of district attorneys. I did that work through the What a Difference a DA Makes public education campaign. And that work revealed how little people really know about one of the most powerful individuals in the criminal legal system, the district attorney. I've shared stories of how DAs have opposed evidence-based reforms and sought exorbitant or lengthy sentences, how they were resistant to undoing wrongful convictions and consistently engaged in fear-mongering as the sole voice for victims. Afterwards, people were then committed to paying more attention to DAs and the hold that they have on the narrative of justice. That hold that they have on justice and how it distorts the reality of what we spend an overwhelming majority of our resources on in the criminal legal system. For example, when funds are being used for wrongful convictions, as with Darrell Jones or Francis Choi that Rep. Du Bois mentioned, our communities are compromised, integrity is undermined, and justice loses. When DA's office refuses to turn over public records without first collecting $1.2 million, our communities stay uninformed, the office's integrity is questioned, and justice loses. When incarceration rates and racial disparities are out of proportion, our communities are treated unfairly, the integrity of the system is discredited, and justice loses. And so I have a vision of justice because justice demands better. And so do all of my fellow residents of Plymouth County. It demands more than a narrative of justice that we have seen for these past decades. I'm inspired by Bell Hooks, who said, "Justice demands integrity. It is to have a moral universe, not only know what is right or wrong, but to put things in perspective, weigh things. Justice is different from violence and retribution. It requires complex accounting." And so, my vision requires us to reclaim the spirit of justice. We're reclaiming that spirit of justice as something more than tough on crime rhetoric or law and order politics and posturing. It requires a complex accounting that requires integrity and accountability. And so throughout my life and in my advocacy, I have learned that we must collectively, from Marshfield to Marion, from Hall to Halifax, from Rockland to Rochester, Plymouth, Plimpton, Pembroke, Brockton, and the Bridgewaters, and all of the residents of our 27 unique municipalities must join together in reimagining a more restorative, a more transformative, and a more healing vision of justice for Plymouth County. And so that is why I am announcing today, on this day, with your help, that I am running for Plymouth County District Attorney. Thank you.